Today is May 3rd of 2024. We're at St. Michael's Roman Catholic Cemetery on Mount Pleasant Street in Frostburg, Maryland, which is just west of Cumberland, Maryland, where our base is located. And we're here at the Murphy Lot. This is a project that has been ongoing for at least the late 1980s. John Joseph Murphy, World War I veteran, fought in France. That was our first designated and protected gravesite in the fall of 1983. We just put in this flat marker here. This monument here was put in 2010 by the cemetery organization. And just recently, we were able to put a monument in for William and Mary Murphy and Mary's brother, Peter Skelly, or Scally. It was spelled two different ways. That's why we have the spelling there. You can see the flat markers here in front of it. They were the old markers, didn't have dates or anything. For years, we could not find the dates of these three here. We were able to find this lady, Mary Loynes, from an old prayer card. However, I'm Ed Taylor Jr., president of the Cumberland Historic Cemetery Organization, and Bonnie Miller is here with the Genealogical Society of Allegheny County, Maryland, along with my mother, Christina Taylor, who is one of our board members. And we're happy and pleased because without Bonnie's work, we would not have been able to find the dates of these folks here, and we would not have been able to do the monuments. We almost gave up on this project. Until last June, I spoke to the Genealogical Society about some of our projects. I happened to mention this, and Bonnie volunteered graciously, and she came up in no time with all kind of information on these great American patriots here. So because of Bonnie's work, we're able to get the monuments, and these monuments are testimony for America's future about the dates and names of Americans that are from our past. Okay, this is the second half of our first Frostburg, Maryland cemetery tour of the designated and protected grave sites of the Cumberland Historic Cemetery Organization on May 3rd of 2024. We're now at Frostburg Memorial Cemetery. This is over on the other side of the town of Frostburg, and we're at the grave of Dr. Benjamin Cromwell. This was the personal physician of Robert E. Lee during the Civil War from 1861 to 65. This ledger crypt was installed by the Cumberland Historic Cemetery Organization and the Sons of Confederate Veterans on All Souls Day, November 2nd, 1996. And it's a beautiful ledger crypt which tells his story. And he rode throughout the war at Robert E. Lee's side in case Robert E. Lee was shot or injured during the war. He would have a physician to work on him right away. And this is the gentleman that invented skin grafting. After the war, he came back to the Frostburg, Eckert area. He visited his patients on horseback door to door, and he died about a month after he more or less retired. So a great patriot of the country, and you can see our third national Confederate flag. This is still the official Confederate flag of the Confederate States of America, the last flag at the end of the war in 1865, and it's the proper Confederate flag that we place at all of our Confederate designated and protected grave sites. Okay, we have three designated and protected grave sites of the Cumberland Historic Cemetery Organization up here at Frostburg Memorial Cemetery. This is a restoration project. Over the years, it's leaning a little bit. We need to get it straightened up. In 1990, I believe it was 1995, we restored this stone. This section of it was stolen in 1961 by college students and was thrown up behind Frostburg State University, which is over in that direction. It was found by people on horseback. We looked the name up, the dates. We discovered this is the grave where the monument was stolen from. We re-engraved the names. This is what was on it. It wasn't Christopher, it was just Chris. And then we engraved our seal, of course, and then we mentioned when it was put up, September 1995. There was a top section on here, could not be located, so we purchased a gray granite urn with our corporate seal, and we use it as a flower urn for the top. So this is one of our restoration projects here at Frostburg Memorial Cemetery. This is our final grave, our designated protected grave site at Frostburg Memorials. This is another Confederate. This was the original headstone of Joseph Oder, who is a member of Stonewall Jackson's brigade. He was also the editor of and publisher of the Frostburg Mining Journal. The Frostburg Mining Journal is no longer in print, but it's used a lot today to do a lot of genealogical research. Bonnie Miller, who was in the first half of our video, consulted the Frostburg Mining Journal for the Murphy information over at St. Michael's. Anyhow, the small rose-colored granite ledger crypt was put in 2006 by the Cumberland Historic Cemetery Organization. The way the shade is on it now, it's a little bit difficult to read. This granite was donated by our late deceased member Anna Marie Feldstein in honor of her late husband Howard Feldstein, and it tells more or less the history of Mr. Oder during his time with the Stonewall Jackson's Brigade during the Civil War.